Kenyans overtaxed? That is a question that only you can answer. Now, as the bipartisan talks continue, the proposals from the Kenya Kwanza side and President William Ruto to have an office of the leader of opposition could be taking the country back to the proposals of the Building Bridges Initiative BBI, which the Kenya Kwanza side opposed. Now, tonight, we take a look at the current state of affairs as far as politics is concerned and the possible scenarios that might materialize if the bipartisan talks continue.
The creation of the office of the leader of the opposition has been a subject of debate in the country. President William Ruto fronting the proposal through his team in the bipartisan talks.
The president or part of the government is already making proposals. For example, of having a strong office of the opposition, leader of official opposition. I have also said before, and we have had this conversation, that in the current term, it is not possible for us to realize the former Prime Minister as the leader of official opposition. As much as he is the second runner to an election, though they have already contended this and they have said, open the server, and open the server, structurally speaking, it is expected that the person who comes second becomes the leader of official opposition. But now Kenya does not have mechanisms to be able to put that office in place. You lose an election by only 233,000 votes, for example, and you walk.
The president says having an office of the leader of the opposition is one way to ensure the government is kept in check, begging the question, which one is the most effective way for the opposition to conduct its business?
Number two is because of the nature in which the house is structured, that you sit on the left, so you are opposition, and you sit on the right, so you are the government. Yeah. Now, that has a lot of issues, and that is where I think that Azimio la Umoja is more or less trying to present the opposition through agitation. And that agitation is in the form of the demonstrations that we continue to see.
Experts also argue that the move could as well be a revisit to the BBI, which proposed the creation of the office.
BBI is coming back. And sadly is that we saw that during the BBI process, a number of assumptions were that the deputy president and his team then were the people who really spearheaded the failure of BBI. But it is interesting to note that now, almost 8 to 9 months into office, most of his followers and even high-level party leaders are actually talking about many of the issues that were raised within BBI. But remember that some of these issues, for example, are changing the structure of the executive. And that really sends shivers to me, because for you to be able to change, especially the structure of the executive, the Constitution is very clear around what you need to do in Articles 255 and 256. Either it is a popular initiative or a parliamentary process.
However, the creation of this position has to have the future in mind.
It would not be right for us to create offices for people. We should be able to have institutions that are very strong. But again, in addition to this, as I finish, is because we have seen similar processes in the past in the name of the handshake. It would be interesting to see how the president talks about the handshake, and then on the other side of it, he wants to create a position that is seemingly geared towards awarding or rewarding or containing the former prime minister. So in so doing, we must be able to be futuristic and progressive. For example, we know that there is going to be a time when Mheshimiwa William Ruto will not be there to run for office. There will be a time when Mheshimiwa Raila Amolo Odinga will not be there to run for office. Does it mean that those officers will be killed when they are not there? So how do we therefore strengthen our electoral justice system?
Brian Amoailu, Captive.